Winning cures everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in. Winning cures everything. Live from the office today. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris. And it's opening day of baseball.
It most certainly is. It is Thursday, July the 23rd, and we have live team sports on television this evening. We got to hope for the rain to hold off, right? Like, that's the biggest thing. So, either way, we're not going to have any rain out in L.A., so we're fine on that. But if we want the quicker game, the earlier game.
I want the early game.
Yeah, if we want that, we got to wait for some rain. We got to hope that holds off. It's only like a 40% chance. I think we're going to be all right. So, yeah, once I get to leave here, which who knows when that might be, but once I get to leave here, I'm going to get to watch some baseball, I think. So, yeah, I'm fairly excited about it. Should be a good day. Everybody go over to winningcureseverything.com. That is the website. All of our picks, previews, podcasts, videos, and social media platforms are over there. If you're watching the show right now, that means that you are tuned in, you are subscribed, you are whatever on Periscope, Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. And if you are not subscribed, go ahead and hit that button. Hit the like button, hit the share button, tell your friends about it, of course. And if you miss a live show, go over and make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast. You can get it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast app. We will be right there. What we would like for you to do, really, is leave a nice 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, written review. That helps out the algorithm, helps get us in front of some more people. We would appreciate your help with that. We don't ask for a lot of things on the show, but that is one of them. If you would like to join in the conversation, you want to help drive the conversation, change what we're talking about, ask us some questions and whatnot, we reply to basically everything. There's a little box in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. That is the chat box. Whatever platform you're on, it will populate to that box right there. So everybody from every different platform can all be involved in the same discussion. Go ahead and chime in right there. We would appreciate that. We got a lot to discuss today, Chris. This is, I think we can call this a day of absurdity. Would you call it that?
Sure.
I mean, there's just
insane things happening, weird things happening.
Everywhere. Yeah. It's insane. Let's start with the first one. Mike Tyson is officially back. Now, we talked about this before. He released some training videos over the last few months or whatever. He's getting back in shape. He looks very frightening for a 54-year-old man. I will say that. But he is coming out of retirement. He is fighting Roy Jones Jr. It is an exhibition match, but it will happen on pay-per-view and on Triller.com, or whatever the app is, on September the 12th. So it's the second Saturday of college football. It's going to be in Carson, California at the Dignity Health Sports Park. That is where the Chargers have played for the last 2 seasons. It's a smaller place, but it is big enough, wide enough that they are actually going to have fans in attendance, from what I understand. And, yeah, I mean, this is by exhibition, it's only going to be 8 rounds. They're not going to wear headgear. It's going to look like a legit match, but they are going to wear bigger gloves than usual. These are going to be 12-ounce gloves as opposed to the typical 8, I believe. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about this. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm interested. I don't know that I'm going to ever use the word excited. It's definitely going to be what I would classify as an exhibition.
It will be a spectacle. I think that's a good word for it. Just an absolute spectacle. Because we're all just curious to see what the hell they're going to end up doing. So on top of that, the undercard is supposed to be filled with, guys that you've heard of but wouldn't necessarily say are boxers, right? So the undercard, I know already, includes Jake Paul and Nate Robinson, the former NBA point guard. That should be at least interesting. I mean, all of these fights that Jake Paul and these different YouTube streamers have done, regardless of whether they're in Cali or in Miami or whatever, all of them have sold out. All of them have done really good pay-per-views.
Yep.
People are still interested in watching people fight. Like, that's just what this is. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to do good numbers. I think people are interested to see what Mike Tyson is going to look like coming back. However, like we said, it is an exhibition. Damian jumps in on YouTube. He said, "What's up? What is up?" Damian, again, anybody that wants to jump into the chat, go ahead. I see the numbers. I see quite a few people in on all the different platforms. Y'all want to jump into the conversation, go ahead and jump in. It's absurd. Mike Tyson should have never come out of retirement. He should have continued with his Hot Box podcast or Hot Boxing podcast, whatever it's called. That's what I think. But, I mean, if you can make a fortune on this Legends-only league that he's coming up with, why not? He's 54. He's not dead. So you got a chance to come out and make some money. I know he went broke at one point. This seems like a good idea.
He's got a lot of weed money right now.
He's definitely got that. He ended up doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah,
so,
I think he's doing pretty good in the weed business.
Once he went broke, he did that. He did the weed business stuff. He did a stand-up tour, which wasn't really a stand-up tour. He just came out and told stories.
Yeah, it was just a one-man show kind of thing.
Yeah, from what I understand, it wasn't like comedy. It was just discussions about what had happened to him in the past, which he actually did fairly well from what I understand. So, I would like to see him do this as opposed to, a one-man show type of thing. But, I mean, who knows? Like, he's not getting into a real competition.
I'll judge it once I see it.
Yeah. Roy Jones Jr. is 51 years old, and he got blasted the last few times he was in the ring. We'll see. Roy Jones Jr. last fought in 2018. Did you know that?
No.
I mean, I could have sworn it was way earlier than that. So Tyson was last in the ring in 2011. But, 2005. It was June 11th, 2005. Roy Jones, 2018. It was just a couple of years ago. So, I don't know what that means. Damian said, battle it out into a heart attack. Yeah. I mean, you never know what's going to happen in these things. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's move on to the next absolutely ridiculous thing that happened, but my God, we should have seen it coming. Antonio Brown, AB, is no longer retired.
Well, that lasted about 6 days. Not even that. No. It lasted like 3 days.
2 days.
2 days. I was about to say, was it Monday or Tuesday we talked about this?
It was 2 days. 2 days. I think it happened on Monday, and then this whole thing happened yesterday. This is just, I don't know even
this
where to
poor
begin.
bastard. I don't. I told you what I was worried about with him retiring is he is a drama queen. He is an attention whore, and he's not right upstairs in the brain. Okay. Something is wrong. Something is off. It could be CTE. It could just be mental health issues. It could be a lot of things, but he's got a hum and a drum. It's not okay. All right.
No, I mean, you're right. You're right.
And at some point in time, if he doesn't have football, I worry about this guy's going to end up in a hole.
Well, we discussed this before we went live. Is it more likely that he ends up dead in the next 5 to 10 years, or that he ends up on an NFL team?
Yeah, I would probably go with dead.
Yeah.
That's sad. I don't wish that on him. But this dude's not. He's a wreck. Not okay.
He's an absolute mental wreck.
Help. The problem is these guys have too much damn money, and they can control whether they're going to get help or not, because everyone around them that would force them into help is dependent upon them and their money.
Yes.
So no one's strong enough to say, you know what? I was broke before I met you. I can go back to being broke, but I love you, and I'm going to do this for the good of you. And if that means you cutting me off, that you cut me off. Nobody's willing to do that because nobody wants to kill the cash cow.
No, you're dead right. You're right on about that. Here is what he said in his Instagram post from 17 hours ago. He said, "At NFL, I have complied with each and every ask of your investigations throughout the past 11 months. You have had access to all of my phones. You know what the deal is in each and every situation that the media has distorted. I have been seeing the therapist you asked me to. I have worked on all aspects of my life this past year and have become a better man because of it. The fact that you refuse to provide a deadline and the reason for the fact you won't resolve your investigations is completely unacceptable. I demand you provide me clarity on this situation immediately if you really care about my well-being. My legal team continues to ask and you provide no answers. How is it that the league can just drag its feet on any investigation it chooses on players and we just have to sit there in limbo? Need an update so I can talk to these teams properly. They're waiting on you at NFL. Let's get this thing moving. We've got history to make. Hashtag Himothy. Now, I don't know what the hashtag Himothy is, but Damien said, I knew this was a McGregor stunt. He said, again, that's one hell of a good Wi-Fi in the asylum. Look, at the statement that he put out, not crazy. He doesn't sound like a crazy person in this instance. But you've seen all of the other stuff. So
the issue is there is a way to handle this. You let your agents and you let your attorneys handle it, and you don't like that the NFL's dragging their feet. Oh, tough shit. That is what the NFLPA has done. They gave Roger Goodell and the NFL office all the power in the world to be God. Okay?
Yeah.
And he is choosing to be God. And you know what they got for it? They got more money and they got less practice time. Congratulations. That's the deal you made. You didn't want to go to practice and you wanted a bigger piece of the pie. And the NFL said, we'll give you that. I have the right to be judge, jury, and executioner, and there is no timetable. I can put you on the commissioner's exempt list for any reason that I see fit whatsoever, without cause, without blame, without conviction, without real evidence. Just at my whim, I can do this, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. And on top of that,
that's the deal you and your union made. Okay.
Well, on
and
top of that,
you got more money and you got less practice time. So enjoy those vacation days.
Oh, 100%.
Because
well, here's the other side of this. If you just keep your nose clean, keep yourself out of trouble, you don't have to deal with this.
There's that side of it, but he already cocked up. Okay.
Yeah.
He already jacked up. And so he's trying to get back, and he wants them to stop dragging their feet. Well, calling them out publicly is not going to make them drag their feet. They already don't want you in their league. They already find you to be very problematic in their league. Okay.
Yeah.
So continuing to act out is not going to give them reason for saying, I think he's stable enough to let him back in.
Yeah.
You want clarity, that's fine. I understand and appreciate that you want the clarity, and you're probably owed the clarity. But your union gave up the ability to demand clarity in a timely manner. And I hate it. I hated it when they came out on Tom Brady. I've hated it when they've come down on other guys. You know, say what you want about the Zeke stuff. We don't really know what happened, but we don't have to. Roger Goodell gets to do whatever he wants with any information he has. It does not matter to him. And y'all gave him that power, okay? You personally might not have signed off on this, but you should have been screaming to your players rep, I don't want this deal. And if you don't like it, go public with the players rep and call them out and say, fix this deal. But no, you took the money and you took the time off.
Yeah. And that's
I don't like
on
the
them.
deal. I damn sure don't like the deal. As a fan, I don't like the deal, okay? Because I don't trust those sons of bitches in New York's office, all right?
Yeah.
I don't trust them at all.
No, absolutely
but
not.
I know better than to give somebody power and take money in return. I'll take less money. I've been broke my whole life. I'll take less money, and I'm going to keep all the power I can.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that power is worth its weight in gold.
Anybody who would trade power for money is a fool. Is just a fool. That's just plain and simple.
Matt said that Burfict did a lot, and then he said, I'm not sure if Chris has an opinion on this.
First, I think I'll tell you this: if I was Goodell and I was the league, I don't know that I would let him back in the league, and I would be very polite in telling him, I think you need to get help, and it ain't just seeing this therapist that we recommended. I mean, I do think this dude might need to be committed for a short period of time, and let's let legit doctor, not just a therapist, talk to him. No dispersion on therapist, but let's let this guy be seen and looked at by legit doctors in a facility somewhere for a while, so we can know he's not on anything, he's not taking anything, he doesn't have any outside influences for a period of time, and we can really work on what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
That's, if I was the league, that would be, I'm not the jury. I'm not the one making that decision. And that would just be a recommendation. So I find him to be a liability because I think there's something wrong with him. And I think if you continue to pander to him, you're just making it worse.
Well, we have said it on the show multiple times that, if he does have CTE, if that's what's going on, letting him back into the league to get, beaten up and bruised even more, probably not good. Now, you can't prove CTE until somebody has passed on and you can actually.
That's the downside of CTE is there's no test for it now.
Yeah, you got that right.
And we know this. We have a mental health issue in our country. Everybody understands that. He could easily have other issues outside of I played football and I got hit in the head a lot, and those things could be flaring up, and he's not getting properly medicated and he's not getting proper treatment for those things. And that could be a part of it as well. And the only way you're going to find out is if you go get checked out and you really go get things looked at and taken care of.
Yeah.
I'm just an outsider. I don't know the man, but what he puts out there to the world shows that this guy's insane.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You are correct on that. Let's go ahead and change topics. Well, Damian said, hey, who knows, maybe Washington will sign AB. I mean, they're already crazy, so why not add another one?
As much as Washington is the butt of a lot of jokes, I trust Ron Rivera to be an adult in that room.
Oh, yes.
I trust him to be I don't know how good they're going to be, but they won't be a joke with Ron running things.
You've got that right.
How long will Dan allow a strong leader to stay there? I don't know, but they won't be a joke. They won't be a laughing stock with Ron there. They won't be a circus.
You are correct. Let's move on. The Pac-12. Their scheduling plans for this fall, it's going to give us a little more positivity, a little more hope. John Wilner from the Mercury News, he is about as tied in to the Pac-12. He has as many sources as you can possibly get, so he understands exactly what's going on. He has got the most accurate information. This is what he put out in the Mercury News this morning. He said the plan is expected to include the following. The Pac-12 will have a 10-game regular season with each team playing its division opponents and 5 crossover games. Now, remember, there's only 12 in the Pac-12, so each division has 6 teams. So you're going to play 5 from your division and then 5 of the 6 from the other division. It says the conference has 9-game schedules ready and could switch to that model if the presidents prefer a more conservative approach or if public health circumstances dictate a change. Season openers have been scheduled for September 19th, or what would have been week 3 on the original 2020 calendar. That gives the conference time to ride out the current coronavirus surges. Teams would not start formal training camp until the middle of August. The problem is that Utah and Los Angeles have very different situations. Washington and Washington State have very different situations, the source said. So some of it's going to be up to the public health people. At least 2 buys are built into the lineup, creating windows for games that cannot be played as scheduled. The hotline was unable to confirm when those buys will be slotted into the months of October and November. Sources said the conference is also allowing for a cushion in early December at the end of the revised regular season. So 2 bye weeks during the schedule, and then they're going to tack on a couple more weeks if they need to fit in some more games. The Pac-12 championship at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas could be played on any of 3 weekends. That's a pretty big deal.
That makes sense to me. Why would we try to set a fixed date now? Don't hamstring yourself. I like this plan. The Pac-12 has come out and told us this is what we're going to do, okay? Yeah. And this is how we want to do this. I understand the 3-week starting late thing. I don't know that I agree with it. I wish they weren't doing it, but I understand it. I get it. If it means I'm getting football and I'm getting 10 games, they're trying to give us 10 games, that's awesome. I'll take it.
I will take it all day long.
So far, they've come out and said, we've got a plan, and I like this plan. I like everything about this.
Well, so the Pac-12 were the ones that everybody was the most worried about. Are they going to move to the spring? Are they going to possibly not play this year? Are they, are all of their players going to transfer out? Are, all these different things that were popping up, and yet here we are.
They have a plan now.
They have a plan to play this fall. That is what I like to hear.
That's all I want.
Yesterday, the Alabama High School Athletic Association came out and said that they are playing high school football as planned right on, the regular start date. every SEC state has high school being played. So, and that includes Texas, even though they're bigger. We talked about this the other day, but they're bigger 5A and 6A or 6A and 7A, whatever it is. The bigger ones are going to hold off for like a month. But we've got high school football.
But Tennessee's going to hold off for a month too.
If we can play high school football and we can play NFL and Major League Baseball and whatever, we should be able to have college sports.
That's right.
Like, especially outdoor sports, right?
Yes.
We'll discuss basketball when we get there, but we ain't there yet.
Burn that bridge when time comes.
Yeah.
We'll see what the world looks like, because that's a lifetime away.
Oh, it certainly is. It certainly is. But this is positive.
Because this is the one conference I was worried about out of the Power Five. Okay. Yeah. I can't control the G5 because they don't have the money at risk. And so they don't have the incentive. And so I understand that we're talking about basically two different sports. All right. But for the Power Five, Power Six conferences, I get this. And this was the one of all of them that I was most worried about.
Yeah. No, you're dead on. You're dead on. All right. Let's discuss a little more absurdity here. Pittsburgh's AD told the Senate the Senate Judiciary Committee that gambling on college sports should not be legal. The AD is Heather Like, and she argued that gambling on college sports should be illegal because protecting the integrity of college athletics is most important. She argued in her testimony that legal gambling on college sports will have a corrosive and detrimental impact on student athletes and the general student body alike. Gambling creates pressures and temptations that should not exist. So 2018 is when the federal law that was banning sports gambling was repealed, and PASPA was passed for every state. Every state had the option of doing whatever, right? So if you're in Pennsylvania and your state government decides that they don't want to allow you to gamble on Pittsburgh games, that's okay. Here is the one fact that they just don't seem to ever think about. You are going to have gambling on these games regardless of whether it is in a legal form or not. That is just absurd. She's saying it basically that the case for not having it is to not put so much pressure on these college kids when they're playing the game. Because you can be bought, right? That's their biggest issue. You can be bought. It can change the integrity of the game. They can be bought at all times.
How long has gambling on sports been legal
2 years.
Across America and the country?
But 2 years now.
2 years? 2 years? How long have you and I been gambling on sports?
Let's see, 16 years? Legally?
That sounds close to right. I might be a little more than that. But yeah, okay. Making something illegal doesn't stop it from happening.
Exactly.
Guess what? I know people who live in the state of Mississippi where marijuana is still very illegal. And it is still very happening.
Oh, yeah.
Making something illegal, all it does is just bring it to the darkness. It just keeps it out of the light.
Yes, making it legal actually puts in regulations, actually gives
It actually makes it safer.
Yes.
Now, you can take some of the money generated by the revenue of gambling and put people into place to monitor it and to watch for strange things that would look like, tomfoolery, to examine people more closely.
Yeah. Matt jumps in on YouTube. He said, lawmakers have little to no knowledge on many aspects, but like to voice their stupid opinions on it. He said, people buy politicians all the time. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But you can't make that illegal. It is illegal, but they still do it. I mean, my God, when I saw this pop up, it just drove me even more insane because it shows how disconnected they really are.
Involved in sports. This is someone who's involved. I don't want to sound like I'm mansplaining to this lady. I'm not. But this is somebody who's involved in sports and is just completely naive to the real world.
Yeah.
They just live in this fairy tale land that, look, we don't pay for recruits here at Pitt. We don't, but bullshit. Go look through the parking lot of Pitt's football team. and basketball team and baseball team.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that
And
won't be able to afford those cars.
Tell me these guys who've never had a job before, now they might not be driving the $100,000 Mercedes that's in Tuscaloosa and in Baton Rouge, okay? But they got like a brand new Honda Accord that's still like a $35,000 car, and they've never had a job before.
Yeah.
And they're working in a field of college football where you're not allowed to have a job. But somehow they got a $600 car note. I don't know how that worked, but you know, a whole lot of brand new Jeeps for a bunch of guys that's never had jobs and aren't allowed to have jobs.
Matt said, rather have it legal and not deal with a back alley deal on getting my money. Joseph said, there's no 95 Acuras in those parking lots. That is true. And then Damien said, damn it, prostitution is still illegal, but people are still paying for it. Well, it's not in Vegas. But
it is in Vegas.
Well, it's
illegal in Vegas. There's one small city about 45 minutes outside of Vegas where it's illegalized.
Whatever.
Okay, Mr. I like to correct people on things that aren't important, but that's actually something that is important.
That's it. No, it's a valid point. Legal. It is a valid point. You are correct. So yeah, with that said, yes, she mentions that the ACC as a whole opposes gambling in college sports. Of course they do. It's a good political thing to come out and say, but the people that are real understand one.
I'm going to tell you this: if you started allowing sports books to advertise in those stadiums, you would change your opinion quickly, because now instead of charging, some local chicken place $20,000 a year to hang a banner on a scoreboard, you're going to charge some sports book $100,000 a year, and you're going to be just fine with it.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden, your opinion is going to change.
You got that right. So if you go ahead and change your mind a little bit, you can reap the benefits. I'm telling you, because this legalized gambling, it ain't slowing down. It just ain't slowing down.
Everyone, all the valid reasons are there for why legalization of gambling is better. Yeah. It protects both sides.
Joseph jumped in on YouTube. He said, "Don't tell Mrs. Seegers about Vegas. What happens in Vegas, ... Look, my wife loves Vegas. She wants us to move to Vegas. So she's perfectly fine with the way that things are out in Las Vegas. I will say that. So she would prefer that as opposed to living in Mississippi. I can guarantee it." Damien said, "I blame Michael Vick. I have no idea why. I don't." Good gracious. All right, let's wrap up today's show, and let's talk about two different naming situations. I guess that's the best way to put it. We'll start off in the NFL. Washington finally has a name for their team for this season. Now, Chris, you've seen this, right?
Yes.
The Washington football team is what they will be known as in the 2020 season. There's no logos. There's no nothing. It's Matt said the Washington Foreskins. Look, I kind of like it. I like the uniform. I like what they're doing. It's not bad, and they kind of they kind of ripped off your Brownies, right?
Yeah, they're just going to go no logo. Here's what I think. I'm very public about this. I think we should you can't steal the Browns look, okay, by just having no logo. The Browns have no logo because they have no real mascot. The Cleveland Browns were named after the first owner of the Browns, all right? So you want to call yourself the Washington Snyders? Be my guest, okay? That's fine. But just going no logo? No. We need to go. What's the old school Tecmo Bowl, Super Bowl, like when you didn't have the rights to like real teams? Yeah. They just had like a general, like a blue helmet with a football on it as the logo. I think you can keep the color scheme, but you get, and I'm talking like super pixelated, old 90s Nintendo looking logo of just a generic football or a football player with a football helmet on your helmet. That's all you get.
I'd be in with it. I'd like that.
That's what you get. I think you like the way the unis look because they basically stole Alabama's look of the number and the stripe. It's an Alabama uniform, but with, gold on it instead of white.
Well, I would have liked it had it not even had the number on there. Like it looks like Penn State. It looks like an old classic uniform, No bells and whistles, just very clean.
The teams that have that look have that look, and that's fine. The teams that don't need to go to it.
Yeah, you may be right. If they were to call themselves the Reds, would that be offensive?
I mean, no, it just depends.
I mean, we've got the Cincinnati Reds.
I'm sure they're going to piss somebody off no matter what they pick, to be honest with you. So
You're probably right. This is better than the Warriors.
We're probably going to get the Warriors. That's the problem.
God,
I say it's the problem. If you like that and you're the Washington fan, then whatever, it's up to you. Yeah. But that I think that's what we're going to end up getting. But
I mean, maybe you're right.
That's what he wanted to call his AFL team back in the day, and he actually used to own the rights to that. So,
well, there you go.
But I'm trying to get inside the mind of an idiot who just happens to be a billionaire. I mean, this is what I can't figure out is how many people in this country have so much damn money. And I used to think to be that rich, you have to be smart. And the older I get, I realize not only are they not smart, the money just makes it it's a cheat code for them. And so they're actually just substantially dumber than everybody else.
It enables them to be dumber.
Oh,
I mean, that's all it is. So especially, I will say this, you have to be smart at something. That doesn't mean that you were smart.
I don't know that you
everything.
do. I think Daddy can hand you something that he was smart at.
That's a very valid point.
And I have no idea how Snyder made his money, and I really don't care. So
either way, next up, Seattle.
I know this I'm in love with.
The Seattle Kraken is the new NHL franchise for the Pacific Northwest. I'm kind of excited about it.
I'm excited. That little video that they leaked out was awesome.
Dude.
I like these unis. I like this,
I like this. I like the mascot name.
We finally have a mascot that's kind of badass, right?
Man, dude, as soon as...
Like, we don't have a lot of badass mascots out there.
But a Kraken is awesome.
So I was excited, and I was super biased when Nashville got the Predators, and I was like, all right, that's kind of a cool mascot, right? Like,
Predators is cool.
But the majority of all the mascots that we deal with in sports are pretty lame, okay? I thought they hit a home run with the Kraken. Got a badass mascot. Oh, yeah. I like this.
Hey, Alonzo Chico jumped in on YouTube. He said, "What's up, Suge Knight and Brian?" Liking the looks today, I see. All right. I'm in with it. Joseph said, "I'm waiting for the Godzillas." Look, I think Kraken's cooler than Godzilla.
I do too. And
I mean, it's just cool name.
They basically took the Seattle Mariners color scheme and made a hockey uniform with it, and I could not be happier.
A Kraken is so much cooler than a Mariner.
Yeah. Well, yes. It's just I like the color scheme. I like the theme with the technology that we have in like these sports arenas and the show that they can put on before like big weekend home games or playoff home games. You could do a lot with the Kraken.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, this was a good move by them.
I'm for it. I'm all in.
God, Damian, I'm not reading it.
I feel like I'm 10 years old again, liking a team because of the team name.
Oh, yes.
But I'm very excited for next year's NHL season to follow this team.
Yeah, to see what's going to happen. So we had the Vegas Golden Knights. Now we've got the Seattle Kraken. I'm excited. I mean, we'll see what happens with them. But, yeah, it definitely got me excited about hockey for a little bit. I love the team name. Seattle, good job. Round of applause. You got to love it. All right. That's going to wrap up the show. I don't think anything's broken. Nope, not a thing. Wonderful. Chris, is there anything you think we need to hit?
No, that's it. Let's get out of here.
We're going to be going a little early again tomorrow for anybody that wants to dive on in with us. I think it's about 3 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. Matt finished this up. He said, "Are we just going to let third graders come up with names for teams? How dare you besmirch the Kraken?"
You don't like the Kraken, man?
How dare you? You know what? He's a fan of the Bulldogs. So it's all good. I understand where you're coming from.
That's generic.
I don't know that Bulldogs would work well in Seattle. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Either way.
I mean, look, I'm wearing a Red Sox jersey. I like a tiger. Like, most team names are pretty boring.
Joseph said, "You forgot about Kim Kardashian getting divorced, just saying there's a chance." Yeah, Yeah, no.
I don't think they're divorced, are they?
No, and I don't think they're getting divorced either. Like, we all know Kanye's got his bipolar issues. Yes, I understand.
Listen, the key to a happy relationship is Adam. This is something I've stolen from Adam Carolla. Give credit where credit is due, but this is the truth. It's 2 TiVos and a lot of square footage. That's it.
For him, he's in Montana right now, and she's in L.A. So
I mean that's a lot of damn square footage. You own multiple houses. That's even better.
That's got to be a lot of TiVos.
But living in the same house, they got like 25,000 square feet. As long as you have your TiVo and I have my TiVo, they go weeks without seeing each other and live under the same roof.
You got that right. Damien said,
Listen,
question.
That's how you make tough relationships last.
Now, you got
that
right.
If you lived in a studio apartment, shit's going to get real quick, and it's going to end fast.
Yes, if you only got one TV, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Damien said, question, what's this report of the MLB having 16 teams playoff? So that is the thing. It's passed all the proper places except for with the owners. It's got to be approved by the owners, and it's got to be approved before the first pitch tonight, which means if the first game gets rained out, they've got even longer until like 9 p.m. Central or whatever
time. They got
time.
about 3 hours to buy.
So, we'll see. I would assume that they will pass it. That will probably make it a little bit better for this season so that we can actually see the best teams get into the playoffs because, with only 60 games, we're not sure that that's what that would mean. But, hey, I'm game for whatever. Give me more playoff baseball. I love playoff baseball. So, I don't know how they're going to do 16 teams, but
I think they're going to just do multiple one-game eliminations like they do.
Then let's do it.
Instead of having the one-game play-in, which is unbelievable, by the way. I love that one-game play-in.
So
if they're going to do
like one-game play-in?
2 one-game play-in, so you got 4 teams that do it, then I'm fine with that.
Hey, I am so in.
Well, I guess they have 2 now, 1 in each division. So if they have 4 of those, that would be basically you would add 4 teams to the playoffs.
Hey, I'm in.
That doesn't bother me. Those one game play-in games are awesome.
They are so intense. So intense. All right. I think we've hit on enough for today.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Let's do it. Everybody go to winningcureseverything.com. Make sure that you get the podcast. You are subscribed to all the places that you need to be subscribed to, and that you have left a nice review over on Apple Podcasts, of course. Leave a nice review there. Share the show out. Tell your friends about it. Go over to sportsbookreview.com. SBRpicks.com is the other site, and make sure that you are on their YouTube page, that you have subscribed over there. All of our college football content will begin over there beginning in August. And yes, we are going to have a college football season of some sort. I would about 99.99999% guarantee it. So, winningcureseverything.com, sportsbookreview.com. For Chris, I'm Gary. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show, leave a nice review.